million, the state government, to this $11 million turning the scar on the landscape here into a research centre of world class for Perth and Western Australia. So I think it's a great spend of a great investment. There's $4 million, as I said, from the state government. There's $5 million from the Commonwealth and $2 million from the University of Western Australia. And of course it'll end up housing some 45 research officers, and of course it's a pristine site right on an A-class reserve in the water. So one of the unique things about this site is that we can actually use the seawater from here. We have access to the seawater, and there's only one other place in Western Australia that actually has that, and that's in Broome, and the others are scattered throughout Australia, but there's only 2 sites in the whole of Western Australia. So it's a very important site for research for the future.
Yes, I'd certainly like to acknowledge the very generous support from the state government for this project. We're extremely excited about all of these major stakeholders working in the marine field, brought together under the one umbrella of the Indian Ocean Marine Research Centre, that being UWA, the Australian Institute of Marine Sciences, CSIRO, and of course the Department of Fisheries. We see this as a major breakthrough for marine research in the state, which will attract national and international attention, and will be the site of a large number of studies concentrating on things as diverse as oceanography, neurobiology, resource management, fisheries, ecosystem health, biodiversity, and governance. So by bringing all of these very large entities within the state together under the one umbrella, and as part of this experimental laboratory, we're very buoyant and excited about the research that will be done here, and will help protect the wonderful biodiversity of our coastline. This Indian Ocean Marine Research Centre is part of two major projects. The Watermans Bay, which is being talked about today, will house about 45 or even more scientists, etc., which will be working on a whole range of projects. But as the Minister has intimated, the great drawcard for this is the position, very close to all of the stakeholders and in fact the City of Perth, but also the ability to bring in crystal clear seawater with the upgrade of this seawater line that was used in days gone by the Fisheries Department. With this fresh water being pumped into all of the laboratories and aquaria, it's one of very few entities within Australia and even worldwide that can actually support bringing in marine animals and actually look at them and how things like climate change and sort of environmental impacts are likely to have. Obviously there's a great deal of research that's already going on across the stakeholders, and so aquaculture will be one, so the Department of Fisheries will be heavily involved in that. There'll be other projects looking at the effects of climate change and changes in pH and temperature on corals, and the bleaching that's going on across the state in relation to sort of global warming issues. We're also interested in recolonisation of seagrasses within the area, and these plants are very important to our marine ecosystem, so we need to be able to recolonise and protect them, and understanding how resilient or vulnerable they are to environmental change is also important. We will be looking at housing a whole range of animals here with the clear fresh seawater coming in. There'll be work on sharks and their relatives here as part of the mitigation processes about understanding the sensory attributes and their general biology, so that'll be another perfect opportunity to extend all of these different research areas.